Oh, so we have it. Look at this beautiful interior. Hello YouTube. Today it's gonna be the day when we are gonna do the interior for our car. That's what I got through the trying of the materials that I've created. And today I will show you how you can do it also. So let's get started. Okay, so there's no better place to start with than starting with the chairs, with the seats. I'm gonna go to the shading tab first off. That's gonna be better because we are gonna work with the nodes for the materials. So let me select, let's say, this part, and right out of it I'm gonna render. We have no materials. Let's create a new material. Okay, so what we are gonna do first, I'm gonna go to textures and I'm gonna bring a Voronoi texture. Let's take a look. By pressing Ctrl and Shift and then left click, I can preview the texture. Now I need to change it from F1 to distance to the edge. That's like good. It's gonna imitate the leather texture, but there are lines too straight. And what I'm gonna do with that, I'm gonna bring a noise texture, and if I plug in into the vector, I can get this kind of an output. Maybe I can play a little bit with it. If I get more details to it, that's gonna look something like that. So I'm gonna add one mix shader, mix node in between the noise texture and the Voronoi texture. The mapping node is gonna be plugged also in color 2. And now we can adjust how wobbly this texture is gonna be. Maybe I'm gonna go for something small, let's say like 0.85. Now we can look into the details, and they are not that straight as before. Let's also look into the scale. Maybe we bump up the scale a little bit, let's say 4 for the scale. And that's the result. Now I'm gonna play a little bit with the scale of the Voronoi texture also, because that's a little bit too big. Let's go for 100. Maybe we can go to double it, 200, like that. Now that's pretty good as a texture. I don't know why I put it in base color, because I will move that down here and I will go to vector and bring a bump node. The distance node is gonna be plugged into the height, then normal goes to normal. So that's what we got out of it as per the beginning. Now the lines are too crisp and we can adjust that. I'm gonna go to converters and bring a color ramp. Now if I bring the white value, that's just gonna lower those pointy area, so I can make it something like that. That looks a little bit better. Now for the strength, maybe let's see how it looks with 0.3 as a start. Maybe a little bit more, 0.6, just like that. I'm gonna plug this in here, and then this goes here, just like that. Now let's adjust a little bit. The things looks better like that. Maybe I can see better the reflections created by changing the color. So that's the output. Let's see how it looks like that. That looks a little bit better. Maybe we can go for a smaller size, or I guess I'm gonna leave it like that for 200. But all the way black does not, I don't really want that. So I'm gonna go for a gray, for a light gray. So it's not all the way reflective, just like that. And now as for the color, I'm thinking about something like almost black. Not totally black, but to be there. Let's say 0.02, just like that. I'm gonna take a geometry node Sorry. Just like that. Now let's play with the color ramp. Just like that. Just a little bit, as I want it to stay black. Then also to break these straight lines, I'm gonna take another nice texture, just like that. I'm gonna go to color, bring a mix RGB node, just like that. I'm gonna take the factor here. Let's play a little bit with the scaling. That's fine. And let's see how it acts when I put the multiplier in. It's not so much visible, so I'm gonna take a color ramp also here. Now we can see this kind of texture around, just like that. So that's perfect. Then that's gonna be plugged in here. Let's take a look. Maybe that's too much. Let's take another look here. I'm gonna lower this just like that. A little bit of crease. So that's a small detail. Maybe the bump is too much. Just like this. That's looking perfect. Let me also disable the denoising for the viewport. Just like that. I'm gonna go out of local view. I'm not gonna stay in render mode. And now just an easier method to apply the material for every single part that we need. I'm just gonna select every single thing from here, just like that, and also this. And the last object is gonna be the object with the material applied. I'm gonna press Ctrl L and link material. That's gonna give me the same material. We can go into local view if we want, and we can take a look at the result. So that's like the leather material. Let's get out of local view, just like that. And maybe on the steering wheel, I'm gonna also apply the same leather material, just like that. Let's see how it looks. Perfect. Let's do also the green thread. That's gonna be simple. Let's say we name it green thread. I'm gonna select a color, let's say like this, not so bright, just like that. And that's pretty good. It's not so complicated as a material. Let me select every single line from here. Then the last one is gonna be this one. Ctrl L, link materials, the wrong object selected. Okay, for this one we already have materials created when we gave materials for the exterior of the car. So I'm gonna use the plastic material that we created. For the handles here, for the side handles, I'm gonna go with metal, just like that. Here I'm gonna have shiny plastic, then inside there I'm gonna have also metal, just like that. I also forgot some parts. Green thread goes here and leather goes here, just like that. Here on the cap I'm gonna put also the leather material. That's this ring here is gonna be just metal, like that. Now let's do the fun part. As we can look into the reference image, we have some parts with a carbon fiber texture, or maybe it's like real carbon fiber, I guess. So for that I've done a texture. I prepared it. Let's get a new material. I'm gonna name it carbon fiber, just like that. And now let's get an image texture. I'm gonna press open, go to textures, and I have here the seamless texture. That's gonna be available on my Patreon account for free. You can download the images, the image textures that I'm using for the tutorial, and let's plug it into the color. I'm gonna press also Ctrl T. That's gonna bring the mapping node, and I'm gonna switch to generated. I guess that's gonna be fine. We need to play a little bit with the scale. Let's see how it looks for 15. That's fine. And I'm gonna rotate it a little bit, not on 6. Let's see. 10 degrees on Z-axis looks fine. So it's not going straight. Let's go into local view so I can see better what's happening with it, because we have to do a little bit more with it just to make it as shiny as it is in the photo. So first off, let me get some space here. I'm gonna bring a bump node just like that. I'm gonna plug it into height, then normal goes to normal. Let's take a closer look, see exactly what's happening. And then I'm gonna bring another color ramp, and I'm gonna bring the white value close here. Let's say like just like this. Let's plug this also into the roughness factor, just like that. And then we are gonna make the clear coat all the way to 1, just like that. So now we have a shiny material. Maybe we can play a little bit with the roughness. Let's see how it looks like that. I'm gonna adjust a little bit more the roughness here. That's gonna be gray, just like that. And let's bring some more contrast in between them, just like that. Okay, now let's put the material in every single part that we need it. So there is gonna be one also on the door. I'm gonna have one here and one here, just like that. I guess also the arm here has the material. I don't know. Maybe I have a photo in which I can see that. Hopefully. You know what? I'm gonna put that material also there, just like that. Now let's put some more materials that we are already having, just like plastics here, plastics. We already have some materials created. We don't need to create many more as we got them here on the inside part. I'm gonna put a darker metal. It's just a simple metal with a darker look. Then we take the plastic. Okay, so I've done all the materials that we are already having, just as didn't needed to record for that part, only applying the materials. And now let's do something interesting. Like, first off, I forgot about this point. Let's apply a red light like that. And this part, they are unwrapped, and I created a texture for them. Let me just, I don't know if that's gonna be the central clock. Let's go to image texture, just like that. Open, let's go to textures, and I'm having it like here. Is this one. Let's plug this one into base color, just like that. So we have the clocks made. For the moment, it's only this one. Let's plug also this into the emission. So it's also emitting light, just like that. And I'm gonna do the same also with this. That's gonna be left. Another image texture, because we cannot put the same texture. I have a texture for every single clock, like that. Plug it in here and into the emission. Now it's not correctly pointed, but that's solvable. Like, I have here the UV, I just hit air and I can rotate the image. Let's see, 180 is too much. 170. As you can see here is displayed the number of the production, and I make it 10. So that's allegedly number 10 of those 918 pieces. 918 cars. Okay, let's select the last one, which is gonna be this one. Of course, we need to adjust this one also. Let's rotate it like that, let's say. And that's perfect. That was it for this part. Now, the car is missing some important things. Let me show it in the photo. As you can see, we have the clocks, but we are missing the... Let me see if I have a better photo. We are having an infotainment here. We are having a lot of touch buttons. We are having also buttons here. And we are missing these signs. For that, I also overcome that. So I have here a signs chart, which I just created, which it's including like most of the things which we are gonna need for the car. Now, how we are gonna use it? It's just simple. Like, we don't have to do an unwrap for this, as that's gonna be just harder with also the existing material, and also placing it in the unwrapped result. I can do a better thing by just creating some sort of a decal. And how is gonna be that? Well, let me just show you. I'm gonna select first of, let's say, these two polygons, Shift D, P, selection. Now I don't need it to be subdivided, so just like that, it's perfectly fine. I'm gonna go into edit mode. Let's get rid of this edge, so dissolve edge. Now I'm gonna scale it a little bit because I don't need it to be so big. Let's say just like that, it's fine enough. Now I'm gonna push it just a little bit more upwards, like that. And now we don't need the same materials. I'm gonna name it signs, just like that. Get an image texture, okay, open, and let's bring the textures, just like that. I'm gonna plug that into color, or maybe, anyways, I'm gonna leave it into colors, just like that. And I'm gonna plug it also into alpha and into emission, let's say. Now if I render, I don't have anything for the moment, because what I need more to do for that to work properly, I'm gonna press Ctrl T. That's gonna bring the mapping nodes which we need. The fact that the texture coordinate it's already plugged into UV, it's just perfect, because that's gonna be helpful. What we need to do, we need to first off unwrap this, just like that. Let's see which one was the first one. That's Tanner here. So I'm gonna take this plane here. Let me just get into the preview shader. And I'm gonna scale this polygon to something like that. Now I see that I can slide a little bit. It's just like that. And also, let's do some. I'm gonna slide this polygon around here, then just like that. Now, because I moved it, I need to rotate the polygon just like that, so it's showing up straight. Now I can see the difference here in between the objects, but when it's rendered, you cannot see anything. So it is as it was there. And that's the workaround for every single part. Like, we can add all of this. I'm gonna add them afterwards, as it's more of a tedious work. And the last thing which I need to do, it's gonna be adding the infotainment screen. How I'm gonna do that, it's by selecting these polygons here, just like that. I'm gonna go to the materials, and I'm gonna hit the plus sign here and hit assign for a new material, just like, and that's gonna be screen, say just like this. And now let's get an image texture. Okay, image texture, where are you? infotainment screen, just like that. Control T. I'm gonna make it as an UV. I'm gonna unwrap it, just like that. Now let's see, I need to rotate the UV map, just like that. And let's place it carefully, just like that. That looks perfect. Now maybe I'm gonna move a little bit this point around here. Let me see. Okay, I've just added one more edge loop, so it's not distorting the UV. That's perfect. Now we can see the difference, and we don't want that. So I'm gonna go to the roughness, and the roughness is gonna be all the way to 0, just like that. Maybe I can plug it also into emission. That's something new that I'm testing. Let's get also into slot 1, because that's not all the way black, so we solved that, just like that. So let's check the screen, and now if I render with the screen, that's gonna be the result. So it looks pretty cool. I'm gonna pause and bring any single sign into the model. So we have the reference images, like we can see we need one here, a lot of signs to be brought. They are already in that chart. Also the triangle sign here, is there. You can take a look in the image references. I have one closer one, just like that. So we can see here we have toner, media, phone, options, navy, car, info, AC menu. Also this is present in the file. So I'm gonna come right back. Okay, so I spent 30 minutes to explain every single material, and then another 30 minutes just to fit any single sign, as we have on the steering wheel, on the buttons here for the gear, all of the buttons here. We have also on the door some signs here on the side for the lights. So that's like the process. Now I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please leave me a like, subscribe, and comment here if you want a tutorial about rigging this car. The tutorial is gonna, the model is gonna be available on my Patreon page for the Patreons. That's like a small support for me if you wanna help. That was it. See you into the next one. Bye.